To be acknowledged by your peers is truly an honor and frankly quite humbling. I want to thank the Association of Fundraising Professionals Southern Colorado Chapter Selection Committee for gracing me with this award. I've been on that committee and I really know how tough of a job that can be. So thank you so much, and also to Debbie Swanson for writing such a wonderful nomination letter on my behalf, unbeknownst to me. So thank you all so much for this honor. So if you'll indulge me a little bit, you may know the biblical story about Jonah. Jonah was actually called by God to go to the east to a town called Nineveh to do some work. Well, Jonah didn't want to go. He went west and went the complete opposite direction, all the way to the sea. When he couldn't go any farther, he got on a boat with some other sailors and kept going west. He wanted to get away from his calling as much as possible. So they're out in the middle of the sea, and then all of a sudden this freak storm happens that wasn't planned for, or you couldn't tell it was going to happen at all. And the sailors are kind of going, what's going on here? What's happening? So Jonah raised his hand. He says, well, it's because I'm not fulfilling my calling that God probably brought this storm on to everybody. And if you want the storm to stop, throw me overboard. So the sailors, they complied. They threw him overboard and the storm stopped. Meanwhile, Jonah gets swallowed up by this giant fish where he's able to contemplate his future for the next 3 days. And eventually he comes to the realization that he needs to fulfill his calling. So when he came to that realization, the fish actually threw Jonah up back onto the beach so he can go back to Nineveh. Now, I don't know if you've ever really thought about this much at all, but I know a lot of us actually get sick of things, but to actually be the vomit, but I digress. Anyhow, Jonah goes back to Nineveh and fulfills his calling. Each one of us is blessed with, I believe, some God-given strengths, skills, and talents. That you are part of the Association of Fundraising Professionals watching this summit, I think it probably has something to do with the fundraising profession. And I would hope that at the top of that list, building relationships would be one of the, at the top, if not near the top. There's nothing like being with a donor who is writing a check to you of his hard-earned money, wanting to fulfill the mission that you have to help a client, help a community, even a continent. That truly, in my mind, is a sacred moment. Occasionally, the work of building relationships is a professional one. That's why I shared Jonah's story, because Jonah's story is actually my story. A couple of years ago, I had a particularly bad experience, and I was ready to turn my back on my calling and quit this profession. As part of AFP, I've actually found a fellowship of other professionals that I can commiserate with, talk with, celebrate with, and even somebody there to talk me off of a ledge. I had friends like Jay Maloney, Kerry Carnes, Gina Toronto, Jeff Milkey, Lance James, my partner in crime on the AFP board, Martha Johnson, Jennifer Malenke. All of you encouraged me in a very difficult time. And then Christy Mulligan, this is the second time that you changed the trajectory of my life. You were the big fish in my Jonah story. You told me about this opening at an organization called The Place, and you said, just apply. You really brought me back to my calling. And Shauna Kempinen, you actually hired me, and I've been blessed to work at The Place, and we've done some great things together there. All of your relationships, they mattered to me, and I want to thank you for feeding into my life. You helped me become the professional that I am today. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my wife, who's been along with me every step of the way, encouraging me to fulfill my calling in my profession, in my dreams. Our work in fundraising can be incredibly rewarding, but also excruciatingly difficult. I encourage you, no matter how long you've been in this profession, lean on each other, be there for one another, use your skills, and fulfill your calling. Thank you.